Hey, hi, hello. This is day 19 of the 30-day loose leash walking challenge. Thanks again for joining. My name is Kristen from Salty Pack. Okay, so today I don't actually have a dog to focus on, no exercises, no demonstration video, because what we're gonna be working on today is mostly for your leash handling, how we're going to deal with any sort of reactive moments while still keeping you nice and safe as the handler. Too often I hear of people, pulling their shoulder out or having back issues from their dogs. Really, none of this should be happening. I know that I am at the end of a leash for, like 40 plus hours a week most weeks. But I'm not a big person myself, and I can manage quite large dogs without being able to have my shoulders pulled out. I say this with the example that I have actually pulled my shoulder out. So I needed to make sure that I could stay safe to continue to do my job in the right way. So what we're gonna be going through today is a little bit of like body mechanics for you to make sure that we don't have any of those massive blow up triggers we still might have those triggers for our dogs, but how can we manage it better and keep ourselves and the community really safe? So remember that very first sort of conversation that we had at the beginning of the challenge that we might have accidentally taught our dogs to pull? As a little bit of a refresher, dogs will feel pressure on whatever sort of equipment that we are using with them. And if they have success of just pulling harder to get to the thing they want faster or whatever it is, or in the case of triggers, whatever has come their way. For a lot of dogs who want dogs to be pushed away, this is a really easy example. If they're lunging, barking, doing all the things, and then the dog goes away, they go, amazing, did you see what I just did? I just made that dog go away. For other dogs, it's a different conversation around frustration, where they are at the edge of the leash, and maybe at one stage or another, we've accidentally gone, it's okay, they're really friendly, and then they're able to say hi to a dog. Then the pulling and the frustration behavior is actually the thing that gets reinforced if they wanted to get to that dog. So there's a lot of things that we've maybe accidentally done, which is totally fine. It's just acknowledging it so that we can move forward. So remembering the conversation that we might have accidentally taught our dogs to pull, the first thing that we're gonna do is teach them just be able to block the behavior, whatever it is trying to do. So I don't want any sort of forward progression. Remember, for some dogs, even just moving closer towards something or away from something, it can also be done in reverse as well too with this theory, that any sort of movement towards or away, depending on the goal of the dog, then that itself can be reinforcing, which means it might happen with a more likely and with a stronger tendency in the future. So we want to stop that first and foremost. A lot of people will go, okay, I hear you, Kristen, but I have tried to stop my dog. The first thing that I want everybody to sort of focus on with their leash handling is protecting your shoulder. So our shoulder is very, very prone to being pulled out if we're not protecting of it. So I never want to see or feel like you guys are using your entire arm to walk your dog. This should never be what you look like. I always want you guys, and I very rarely use never and always, I always want to see a little bit more of this elbow bend for us. So the fact that we have to come all the way out already means that we're compromising our shoulder here. So we're going to bring our elbow in nice and close to us. If we need to, we can even do the thumb grip and have a bit of a handle underneath. So we have both hands handling our leash. And I want this to be more of a natural tendency that you guys come to with your leash handling. So it's going to be left elbow here, or right elbow here if we've got on the right hand, or when you switch it over, left elbow here. Now on the other end of the spectrum, I don't want it to be super tight because Kristen said to, protect my shoulders. I still want you to be nice and loose, but having your elbow a little bit further back here at a more bent angle is going to protect your shoulder. So that if your dog does start to pull or has a bit of a reaction, I'm wanting you guys to be a little bit more on top of it so that you can block that behavior. So here's noticing why I haven't actually had a dog for this. I don't want to set any dogs up for failure to show you how I would handle the trigger. It happens more often than not than what you'd think, but there's no point in doing this. This is just all conversations for you guys. So focusing on that, having that nice kind of that bent elbow and trying to keep it closer into your body, not further away. So while we're working through this challenge, and particularly if you do have a bigger dog that has some triggers, I don't want you to become just as reactive as your dog, but I do need you to be a little bit alert. So while I'm saying, take your phone, go for films and things like that, really if you're working in your structured walk, we need to be just as present as we expect our dogs to be, okay? So when we are going out, it's just using a little bit of common sense. Just be scanning your environment so that you know what's coming up. I want you to sort of stay on top of those triggers for your dog just as much as they are, if not a little bit more, so that we can make sure that we're guiding them through in the correct way until they're not triggers for our dogs anymore. They're just things that you see. But most, I'm assuming that most people are here because we've got triggers, we're working on leash manners and things. So again, we might need to stay on top of it just a little bit more for our dogs to start with so that we can work through them in the most appropriate ways. If something does come out of the blue for you as well, I want us to sort of think about this athletic stance that we can have. So we talked about the upper body having a bit of a bend in the elbow to protect our shoulders. I also want us to be able to stand up straight. So we hold most of our muscle in our bum, our quads, hamstrings. We can put a lot of center of gravity in through our legs. I'll even see if I can get the camera a little bit further down so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. So when we go into a bit of an athletic stance, whatever feels best and more comfortable for you. If your dog has a little bit of that reactive moment, as much as we can, I don't want us kind of moving with them as much as we can. It's going to be a little bit of that lean backwards, and wherever you can plant your feet that feels comfortable for you, putting your weight in that back leg and making sure that we're stopping the dog from any forward progression. So you can even feel all right, so how does it feel when my dog pulls me? Yep, and how am I gonna stop them? It's funny, I never thought that I would have my left foot forward, so we're learning things as we go as well. So practice that athletic stance today, just getting a little bit of a feel for how that might be. You can even grab your partner, for example, and see if you can kind of stop them in their tracks, holding that leash and using your center of gravity to sort of bring you back and having that nice athletic stance as well too. So we don't want the dog to continue moving forward with any of those triggers. We're gonna stop the dog in their tracks if something happens. Hopefully nothing ever happens. Hopefully you never need this, but this is the just in case. So that's it. I just want you to think about having a bent elbow, protecting that shoulder, practicing that athletic stance, maybe grabbing a partner, maybe that's the activity that you guys can do today if you want to do a couple of repetitions of how that's going to feel, of you braking, you putting the brakes on. Don't try it with your dog. Don't set them up for failure. I don't ever actually want to see any reactive behaviors as much as I can. A lot of people are like, let's go out, let's go find triggers and let them blow up. I don't necessarily want to see it. I've seen dogs blow up. I don't need to see it again. So practice it more for yourself. This is a just in case thing, but if you can get some muscle memory around it, definitely helps you out once you're taking your dog out and in the unfortunate situation that something does happen, you're ready for it. If you find that you still want to do something else with your dog, go back to any of the videos that you feel like you still have a bit of a gap in. Really big recommendation is actually going all the way back to day 2 where we worked on our yes. Just go outside and test out and see how strong your dog's response is to yes. So remember, mark, then move, yes, then move. Watch day 2. I'll link that one at the end of this video that you can jump back to day 2's video. That would be my preference for you. But if you're feeling like, nope, I've got my yes super strong, any of the other kind of exercises that we've done up to this point, you can certainly take some time to work on that today. Any questions that have come up, obviously put them in the comments. We're more than happy to help out, and we will see you again tomorrow. Thanks for watching today's video. My name is Kristen from Salty Pack. If you would like to start from day 1 of our 30-day leash walking challenge, you can click on the recommended video to get started with your leash walking journey today. Good boy. Nice. Did you get me? You got me so